thing to say about a guy who headed into Week 15 was second in the league in receiving yards and touchdowns. When we asked Johnson what he thought about hearing those comments, he just laughed and said his initial reaction was, I am getting old. Then he found out that Elam was a rookie. Again, he was being playful, but he had this message for Elam: shut up and earn your stripes first. He's going to learn about my old man strength, Johnson said. If I can get in there and put my hands on him, I will. Johnson continues to play despite having issues with his right knee throughout most of the season. Each week he has medical treatment on the knee and is limited in practice. It's aggravating, he said, but it's getting better. Mike?
Hasn't slowed him down much, Lisa. We'll see how he does early. Lions will get the ball first. Baltimore won the toss, deferred the option to the second half. Jeremy Ross used to play with Green Bay, signed by the Lions, had a punt and kickoff return in the snow last week. Kickoff from Justin Tucker is a low one to keep it away from Ross. And it's brought back by the backup offensive lineman Dylan Gandy to the 23-yard line. Matthew Stafford comes out for the Lions. This is the best quarterback the Lions have had in the last half century. He was their #1 overall pick in '09. He's got a bunch of passing records, but the record that matters the most, you saw it, 24 and 34. Can he lead this team to more consistency in the stat that matters the most, the win column? Reggie Bush missed last week with a calf injury, in the lineup and next to Stafford. The 22 over the head of Bush, and the pass is incomplete. John, let's take a look at what we'll see from the Lions on offense tonight.
Well, it's been a turnover-prone offense. They've had 28 turnovers, 3 each in the last 4 games. They are a more balanced offense. You're going to see Reggie Bush as the go-to back. Joik Bell is an excellent complement, and their offensive line is young and improved. Rookies right guard Larry Warford and right tackle Adrian Waddle have played well.
After the no gain on first down, Reggie Bush runs between the tackles, gets only a yard. That's about it. He's stopped by Aloti Nata in the middle of that Raven defense. Still some names from that championship run last year.
Well, they're very multiple, and they're still massive in the front 4, Mike. They have to deal with the Lions' no-back offense. They spread you out more than any team in the NFL, and at the end of the day, their Megatron plan will be significant. They must minimize Calvin Johnson, and Jimmy Smith will get the call.
Big injury question with this team. Was Elvis Dumerville going to play? Missed last week with an ankle. He's back. He's in there. Stafford throws to Joik Bell on the screen. Bell gets the first down and more. Out to the 45-yard line. Good block from that man you were talking about earlier, John, the rookie guard for the Lions.
Well, the only man that's left is Darryl Smith, and you're going to see rookie right guard Larry Warford get out on the perimeter and lead this screen. And Joik Bell has a real feel for the screen game. You saw how he went right down the numbers. That's the landmark you're looking for in the National Football League. Well executed by the Lions.
Bell averages 11.5 per reception. He had 23 on that one. From the 46, here's Bush. Reggie Bush trying to get past the safety. Good penetration by Matt Elam on the read. Helped the rest of the defense get there. So Reggie Bush, of course, had that electrifying start to his career as the #2 pick for the Saints. Then spent the last 2 years with Miami. Proved that he could be a runner between the tackles and every down back. Signed here this year with Detroit and is top 5 in yards from scrimmage per game. You have Calvin Johnson you have to pay attention to. A lot of space for Bush. And now Bell, who's become a nice compliment in the backfield. Runs to the right. And Bell gets stopped and shot off the edge from Lardarius Webb, the corner for the Ravens.
I love seeing this kid back. He got hurt last year, tore that ACL against Dallas. But not only does he have 13 PBUs, he's an outstanding tackler. Watch him at the top of the screen. The receiver cracks. He comes in and penetrates. Physical football player, fearless.
Chris Durham out there is a good blocker. He knocked down his own man because he couldn't get to the speeding Webb. Lions need to get to the 44 for a first down. And Stafford buying time, taking off, can't get there. He slid a couple of yards shy of the first down, but the flag comes in from the referee, Carl Sheffers. Even though Stafford slid, if you get a hit up high.
Personal foul, number 26 defense. for unnecessary contact on a sliding quarterback. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
And Elam's hit tacks on 15. He gave it to Elam. It was really Smith who clubbed him across the side of the head.
And it's a huge penalty that sustains the drive. And Reggie Bush has just shipped it out into an empty backfield that we talked about. Detroit loves spreading you out in this dome.
Opening drive for the Lions. Stafford gets away from the rush. Gets it to Nate Burleson. Nice move. Burleson inside. Still going to the 14. First down. Gain of 17 for Burleson. Missed about half the season after he broke his arm in an auto accident.
Well, Elam got credit for the penalty on the last play. Now he's going to miss the tackle. You're going to see Burleson right here in the flat, but rookie Matt Elam is going to rally to the flat and miss the tackle. And Burleson, the leader of this Detroit Lion offense, delivers a huge play, setting up a first down in the red zone.
Good red zone offense, good red zone defense. These matchups will be fun. Lions inside the 20 tonight. Begins with a Reggie Bush run. Bush to the edge at 10, at the 5. Reggie Bush, touchdown Detroit.
Terrell Suggs lost contain, and Reggie Bush has the speed to get the corner and finish you. That's the trait that Detroit has not had in this offense. They stack 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, and watch the left side of your screen. Pettigrew does a nice job against Suggs, who just can't quite contain the play, and Reggie Bush has delivered a lot of big plays for the Lions.
Touchdown number 6 on the season. 4 rushing, 2 receiving for Bush. David Akers, who struggled this year, adds the extra point. First time in 5 games the Lions have scored on the opening drive, and feeling a lot of pressure. Big opening statement from Detroit.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Subway, home of the famous $5 footlong. NFL Mobile. Never have the fear of missing out on football. NFL.com/mobile. And GMC. Enter the Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a 2014 GMC vehicle at GMC.com/NFL.
Look at the Ambassador Bridge. It takes you from the U.S. to Canada. And our aerial coverage tonight brought to you by DirecTV. First opening touchdown drive that the Ravens have allowed this entire season. And now Jacoby Jones, tremendous kick return man, as we know, from the Super Bowl, back deep to receive.
I wouldn't give him a good look at any return tonight if I were the Lions.
It is Akers kicking off. Sam Martin, the punter, has done a lot of the kicking this year. Akers kicked it towards the end line, and Jones, who's gone the entire length of the field, often brought down on the good coverage by Ashley Palmer, the backup linebacker. The Ravens will take over inside their own 20.
Well, if you want to run the football, you better find a tight end that can block the point of attack. And Brandon Pettigrew has done it all year for the Detroit Lions. What a start.
Joe Flacco, forever in that special group. Magic ride to win the Super Bowl, turned into a $120 million contract. This is his team now. He does so much of the decision-making. Drive start from the 16. He takes off on the run and gets a half dozen to the 22-yard line to begin for Baltimore.
That's one thing Joe Flacco has done better and better as he's gotten more established in this league, and that's scramble. He's done an outstanding job creating offense with his legs, not just his arm. That time, he got out of trouble for 6.
Communication going to be tough tonight. Rice not going anywhere. Nick Fairley on the penetration. John, let's talk about this Ravens offense and what you see from them as you study them this week.
Too many negative plays. Combined for over 90 runs of 0 or less. 41 sacks, 23 false starts. They got to play better on the offensive line, Mike. And Pitta's return gives the Ravens a presence in the middle of the field, and they've got to get more Ray Rice. Hand it to him, throw it to him, get him going.
That run was Rice's 50th this year, no yards or less. It's been a struggle. 3rd and 4. 5 in the patterns for Flacco. Pressure coming at him. Good job to keep it alive, but no first down picked up for Torrey Smith. Stephen Tulloch with the play. It's 3 and out for the Champs.
Well, it's a good start for the Ravens offensive line, but nobody could get open. Take a look at Eugene Monroe out here blocking Ndamukong Suh. They're trying to move Suh around. He's going to get a shot at Monroe tonight. He's going to get a chance to work against both of these guards, but I love what Eugene Monroe did against Suh early.
Sam Cook on 4th and 1, set to punt for Baltimore. Line drive, bit of a return opportunity, a 51-yard kick. Bears have the hot hand. Jeremy Ross with nowhere to go, and at the 32-yard line, he is brought down. And Calvin Johnson not targeted in that opening drive yet. Detroit able to get 7 on the board in the first drive. And we'll see if the Lions will take over at the spot of the tackle there as Carl Sheffers sorts out this flag.
During the kick, holding number 52 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, timeout.
Penalty on Rocky McIntosh will take Detroit back just outside the 20 when we come back. Next week, obviously important game for San Francisco as they continue to work on their playoff positioning. The Atlanta Falcons, their disappointing season coming to a close. Also, very significantly, starring in the show next Monday night, Candlestick. Final regular season game, perhaps the final game ever at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. See you there next Monday night, 8:25 Eastern Time. Penalty lines take over at the 14, and Bush up the middle. Reggie Bush showing no effects of that injury. A gain of 19.
Reggie Bush loves it here. He said, I've never seen so many big holes. He's in space more here than I've ever seen him. Pettigrew comes back off the right side, cuts off Courtney Upshaw, and they gash the Baltimore Ravens run defense. Reggie Bush came here on his free agent visit. He was promised he'd get a lot of 6-man boxes. So far, I see why he came here.
Well, they showed him Calvin Johnson videos. Did you see this? See these opportunities? There's the movement on the left side of the Ravens defensive line. And John, here's one of your favorite moments in the NFL every week.
Neutral zone infraction, number 55 defense. His movement into the neutral zone caused a reaction by the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And this is the way offensive linemen are coached in the NFL now.
As soon as Terrell Suggs gets into the neutral zone, right tackle, you see Adrian Waddle, a rookie out of Texas Tech, looking like a Moxie veteran there.
I got you, right? That's what they all do.
Seen more of that this year than ever.
So 1st and 5. Stafford goes to Joyce Bell. It's another good block for the tight end. This one's Dickerson, the other tight end. And a 7-yard gain for Bell, the 3rd-year running back from Division II Wayne State, 2 miles down the road.
They're running a lot of different kind of runs. This time Pettigrew on a counter play back to the right side. You see left guard Sims come with Pettigrew. Misdirection. A big part of this Lions offense, and they're running the ball with authority early.
First down throw, the pressure comes. Bush is the pressure release. And Reggie gets 6 first down yards as Corey Graham was bringing the heat on Stafford.
Boy,
these two backs, we're talking about them, Bell and Bush together, John. They have both run for over 500 yards. First time the Lions have had teammates do that since 1986, and we've seen them both as a factor in the pass game. And if they get a few more yards, they'll both be over 500. And no teammates in NFL history have both run for 500 and received 500 yards. So some rare air for these two backs together. A little thunder and lightning combo. And it's Bush running for the first down as they're in Ravens territory at the 42-yard line.
The most improved part of this Lion offense is this offensive line. Raiola is stronger. Rookie Warford is an outstanding run blocker, and rookie right tackle Adrian Waddle, much improved offensive line. And Riley Reif, the left tackle, a former first-round draft choice who's taken over for the longtime Jeff Backus. They're better at 4 positions, and that includes Raiola, Mike, who's stronger and bigger than I've seen him.
The 42, it's the inside handoff with Bell. That time he stopped for the loss of a yard. And John, you talked about that offensive line. How about the rookie Warford out of Kentucky on that touchdown?
Well, you need somebody that can give you a physical presence, but you also need an athlete. Watch him right here on this power play against a filling linebacker. That's just an excellent job, logging the linebacker at the point of attack, and it gives Reggie Bush an opportunity to bounce it. But this is no rookie. He's been well coached at Kentucky, and this Lion coaching staff coached him in the Senior Bowl. They know a lot more about Warford than all of us.
Officially no gain, 2nd and 10, pressure on. Stafford got away from it for a moment, but then was eventually brought down. Darryl Smith, the man who replaced Ray Lewis with the initial pressure, the sack with Arthur Jones.
Hey, you get into a no-back set against the Ravens, I promise you the veteran, Darryl Smith, is going to check to some blitzes. Outstanding work, recognizing the no-back formation and getting the Ravens in the perfect defense. If you need anybody to succeed Ray Lewis, you might go get a man like Darryl Smith who can do it all. Coverage, blitz, and tackle.
Year after year was the top tackler for the Jaguars. Sack makes it 3rd and 15. And Stafford fires. And Johnson dropped it. Calvin Johnson had a chance to catch and run. And may have just spun his head off the ball for a moment.
Wow, he breaks back to the outside. Watch him sell this across the field. It's an excellent route. And Matt Stafford got outstanding protection. Very uncharacteristic, and a huge drop by Calvin Johnson.
This has been a team with many drops during the year. Johnson went through a stretch when he was injured, not practicing much, where he had multiple drops, but had a wide open one. The Lions set to punt, and the officials stopped the game here for a second. Play clock sitting on 12. Let's see what Carl Sheffers and company have. Did one of the officials get hurt? I believe one of the officials may have come up. Yep, the umpire is shaken up. He's grabbing towards his left leg, so Andre Walsh will come over towards the Lions bench and take a seat next to the backup quarterback, Sean Hill, and get looked at. So the officials will go 1 down for a moment. It's something they review on a regular basis, how to cover with 1 fewer official. And now the Lions rookie punter, Sam Martin, put it up high in the air, and Lardarius Webb makes the fair catch back at his own 6-yard line. The Lions have been rolling. Looked like they were on their way to a 1st down in the red zone on a catch and run by Calvin, except the catch part didn't happen. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters here in Detroit. Both the Ravens and Lions 7-6. Playoff implications here. A lot of interested fans. Cincinnati, Miami, San Diego, Chicago, Green Bay. Their team's playoff fates intertwined with the action tonight. On the run to the right, it's the backup for Ray Rice, and a good run for Bernard Pierce. A 1st down run as he gets out to the 19-yard line. Well, we mentioned the injury to Andre Walsh, the umpire. Let's bring in our 2-time Super Bowl referee, Jerry Austin. Jerry, what happens in this situation as the officials work a man down?
Well, they go 1 short. They move the back judge to the umpire position. Now you only have 2 officials deep downfield to cover all the pass plays. They'll play deeper than they normally would when the umpire's back in the offensive backfield.
All right. Keep an eye on that. 1 less official for the coaches to yell at as well. Flacco loading up. Here's that deep shot. He's got that huge arm, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Smith, and you saw the official running back as the coverage was there. And the umpire returns to the game, John Walsh.
Excuse me, Mike. Just a distinct double move by Torrey Smith. They're going after the veteran, Rasheed Mathis. And Mathis had nothing to do with it. Aggressive play call backed up. There's the deep threat that the Ravens look for 6 to 8 times a game. He had a huge start, but he's been awful quiet lately.
Lions playing without their starting quarterback, Chris Houston, and their number 3 quarterback, Darius Slay. 2nd and 10. Pierce with the run. We'll give him about 3 yards there before 3rd down, John. We mentioned the injuries. Let's talk about the rest of the Lions' defensive profile.
They just have to eliminate the breakdowns. They played good at times, but they've given up some cheap, explosive plays. The front 4 has to dominate tonight. That's where the strength of this defense is. They've got to get it done tonight, and they must eliminate the penalties. 43 of them so far. There are no free passes for the Ravens tonight.
Dennis Pitta, 88, with target for Flacco here, and there's the throw on cue to Pitta, who keeps the chains moving. 1st down. It was the first practice the Ravens had in July. Pitta dislocated his hip. Surgery. He was out until last week.
Good timing. Ball's thrown accurately away from the squeeze of the linebacker Levy, but this is a security blanket for Joe Flacco. Remember, Pitta caught 61 passes last year, 7 TDs, another 3 in the playoffs. Great to see him back from that hip injury.
First down run with Pierce to the right. Not going anywhere. Israel Adonijah made the tackle for the Lions. This was, as we mentioned in the open, an offense that was struggling a little bit for an identity. And John, when you take away Pitta with the fractured and dislocated hip, and then you don't have Anquan Bolden to make all those key 3rd down catches, plus Ray Rice was hurt, you understand why they were struggling for an identity early on.
Yeah, and I don't know how they want to run the ball. They don't use Vontae Leach, their fullback, much anymore. They've been in this pistol formation with the tailback behind the quarterback. Not sure the direction of this Raven offense.
2nd and 11. Pressure picked up. Flacco looking for the middle. He's got Torrey Smith for the 1st down into Lions territory at the 45-yard line.
One thing is sure, though, Joe Flacco is going to throw deep passes to Torrey Smith. Watch the deep cross. Across the field goes Torrey Smith. Nice clear out by Jacoby Jones at the top of the screen. Flacco got punished as he delivered the football. Man, they love the vertical game, and wouldn't you with Joe Flacco?
Wouldn't you test, there's movement up front by Detroit and the response by Baltimore.
Neutral zone infraction, number 99 defense. 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
And C.J. Mosley is flagged for a penalty Jim Schwartz's team has been guilty of a lot this year.
Well, it drives me crazy. I think it's 9 penalties on Nick Fairley alone this year. Pre-snap penalties inexcusable by a defensive tackle. Watch the ball. End of story.
Rice back in the game for Baltimore. 1st and 5 opportunity. And Ray only gets 1. DeAndre Levy makes the tackle. And I mentioned how often the Lions have been penalized for those pre-snap penalties, encroachment, offsides, neutral zone infraction, unabated to the quarterback. It's all the same. It cost you 5 yards, right? Well, the Lions have been hit with that more than any other team this year, while the Ravens have tied for the league lead in false starts. So who can stay disciplined is very important when the Ravens have the ball here tonight. 2nd and 4. Flacco's throw is complete. And Ed Dixon, the other tight end, able to hang on despite the hit. Keep the chains moving at the end of this 1st quarter.
Nice job by Jim Caldwell, the offensive coordinator of the Ravens, mixing up Joe Flacco's launching spot, play action pass, quick game, and they're mixing in some successful runs. This is Baltimore Raven offense on this particular drive.
Only score of the opening quarter on the 1st drive. After 1, Lions 7-0 on Monday Night Football. 2nd quarter here in Detroit. Lions 7, Ravens nothing. This is a Baltimore team that many were looking at the wild card picture because the Ravens started this week in the wild card equation, but then the victory by Miami bumps them out for the moment. However, with Cincinnati's loss last night, all of a sudden you look at a Ravens team that if they win their last 3, the last game being against Cincinnati, then Baltimore would win the division. So John Harbaugh's team trying to do what they've done a lot. Earn that last spot, fight their way in, and make noise in the postseason. From the 34, it's Rice in the backfield again. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Don Carey, the safety.
Well, Joe Flacco's got to see that. An excellent disguise by the Lion defense, but you can't run the ball into Don Carey when he's unblocked. Ray Rice has been stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Too many times he's had no chance. That's very disappointing. Flacco's got to get out of that play.
Look at that, 27% of the Raven runs 0 or negative yards. That doesn't even count kneel downs at the end of a half or a game. They do this well. Flacco erasing the 2nd and long with Jacoby Jones at the sideline. Sheen Mathis with the tackle right near that first down mark.
It's a timing pattern on the outside, and Flacco can catch and release in the shotgun as well as anyone, and they continue to use this no-huddle offense to keep the Lions off balance on defense.
This is 3rd and short, and a big quarterback in Flacco at 6'6". Just a pitch to the edge to Rice, who's got the first down and more. Rice to the sideline, right around the 12-yard line. Keep this Ravens drive that started their own 8-yard line going.
That's a play that's very difficult on a defensive end. The tackle blocks down. You're taught to squeeze. And you're outflanked when the ball's pitched to Ray Rice. Great to see. 27. Making it happen. They need to get him going desperately. Too good a player.
Ravens in the red zone looking for the tying touchdown. And Flacco rid of it quick, and that hot was not read by Torrey Smith, and the pass is incomplete.
That's what happened to Tony Romo yesterday against the Green Bay Packers. You have these running plays called, and you have these hots in the running game where they load up the box. I'll just pick it up and throw it to you. And clearly, Flacco sees the loaded box, but Torrey Smith doesn't. I've seen more breakdowns on those types of plays this year than previous years.
Second and 10, Pierce running right. Get inside the 10-yard line. The Lions' run defense just blistered for nearly 300 yards last week by Philadelphia. It follows just a stretch where they were tremendous in run defense, only giving up about 62 yards those prior 5 games. They couldn't stop LaShawn McCoy in the snow last week, thus the stats are really skewed.
Well, LaShawn McCoy was wearing snow tires.
Snow shoes, snow tires, something. He was something special.
Novak set. Be alert for Dennis Pitta. Flacco's favorite red zone target down the middle.
Pressure coming free. Flacco has to get rid of it, and it's incomplete. That was the rookie Devin Taylor, who lined up on the other side of Jadeveon Clowney at South Carolina. Impact rookie for the Lions.
Well, Gunther Cunningham comes with the blitz. You see Monroe blocked down, and nobody blocks Devin Taylor. I don't know what Eugene Monroe is thinking, but that's clearly a bust, a breakdown in protection, and Joe Flacco has been hit too many times this year. That's disappointing.
Those are the things you were talking about at the beginning of the game, the offensive line making mistakes like that. You see how good the second-year kicker Justin Tucker has been. And he continues that stretch, knocking it through from 29, 28 straight made field goals. 15 plays and 81 yards, but the pressure on Flacco made it 3 instead of 7, and the Ravens are down 4. Neat little twist tonight. Jim Schwartz, the Lions coach, went to high school in Baltimore, and John Harbaugh, the coach of the Ravens, went to high school about 45 minutes west of here, Pioneer High School in Ann Arbor, Michigan, right across the street from the Big House. And there they are here tonight. Jim Schwartz talking about how he grew up watching Burt Jones and the Colts play back in the old Baltimore days. And John Harbaugh went up to the Silver Dome a few times to see his brother as well, and Jim would play for the Bears. No return on that long kickoff, and Jeremy Ross takes it in. Calvin Johnson and the Lions offense tries to add to their totals in a moment. All those receiving yards, second in the league, but none for Calvin Johnson thus far tonight. What's going on?
Well, Jimmy Smith came up and got him on the first series of the game. And then Corey Graham took him in the slot a couple of times. And finally, when Calvin Johnson ran the route and was open, he didn't handle it. Nothing in the first quarter. They need to get Megatron going.
See that 25% of the Lions offense have come on receptions by the seventh-year man. Reggie Bush and Joyce Bell have been doing a lot of the work here, John, and Bush takes it to the 24-yard line.
Now, Reggie Bush impresses me. He was a receiving back when he was with the Saints. He ran between the tackles in Miami. He's doing a little bit of everything here in Detroit, but he's running hard. He's averaging almost 10 yards a catch, and he's got the perfect complement, Joyce Bell, who's really an unknown, Mike, but this is an all-purpose back that can run and catch also. Nice combination.
Well, Stafford tried the hard count and gets Nata and company to jump early.
That was a good hard count. He almost got me.
Encroachment, number 92 defense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Four-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro a couple of times. Haloti Ngata in one spot this year on that nose.
He got a host of Ravens, I think.
Yeah.
That's the third pre-snap penalty already. Not usually a hard one to get.
Let's see what the Lions do on 2nd and 1. They will just run it, and Bell sifting through, got hit hard, but picks up the first down. Pernell McPhee came flying in, made the contact, but the Lions pick up, get another first down in this first half.
You know, defensive coordinator Dean Pease of the Ravens does an excellent job with his disguise package. He's showing too deep until the ball is snapped, and then they're rotating late. They're making it look like Calvin Johnson is getting doubled over and over again, but you will see some late rotations. Dean Pease has done an excellent job as the coordinator of this defense with all the missing pieces, Mike.
Spent some time with Bill Belichick as the coordinator with the Patriots. Stafford on the boot. Sideline toss for Johnson. Ruled a catch. Let's see. No, now not ruled not a catch. One official came in and said yes. The other said no as they combine.
Complete pass. Second down.
A shin counts as a body part like a knee or something else if that's inbounds. But you see the knee, I think, came down first. And it's a good call live as Jimmy Smith was there on coverage for Baltimore.
And Stafford had Chris Durham wide open on the backside over route. Chose to go to Calvin. 2nd and 10.
.31 slinging it towards Durham this time. He's able to hang on. The 35 as Lardarius Webb was buzzing in there to try to break it up or take it the other way.
How do you play quarterback in this offense? Stafford has his own fundamentals. He's got to catch it, fake it, and then he just flicks it out here. I don't even know if he gets the laces half the time he throws the football. 3rd down is 6.
Go!
Lions will do this a lot, that one-back set. Empty it out. Let's see how the Ravens react if they bring pressure. They do. Stafford rid of it quickly, and the Ravens all over it. Terrific defensive play by Lardarius Webb to stop Burleson and force the Lions to punt.
That's a great play by Darryl Smith. As soon as he saw the Lions shift into a no-back set, he said, let's go get Stafford. Watch number 51. As soon as he sees the Lions get into a no-back set, he says, let's get after him. And you see 59, Arthur Brown, come up onto the line of scrimmage. Doomerville unblocked. Excellent execution by the Raven defense.
Martin lucky to get that one away. There's space here for Jones. There goes Jacoby Jones, brought down to the 45 as Theo Riddick, rookie out of Notre Dame, makes the severing tackle. Kick was 42, but a 23-yard return. Going to give Flacco his best field position of the night. Both of these teams thrilled to be back in domes. They played in snow globes last week. You mentioned the Lions game in Philadelphia. Same with the Ravens hosting Minnesota. Joe Flacco is very happy to just walk in the dome and say, oh, this is what it's like. Ravens have played in a lot of bad weather this year. First and 10 pass is caught by Dixon, who is submarine and taken down. Glover Quinn over there, the safety.
Well, Glover just came over. He read that all the way and got a good lick on Ed Dixon. Watch 27. He's going to see Dixon leak into the flat off the play action. And Glover Quinn, the veteran safety, the ex-Houston Texan, says hello.
Willie Young may have helped that with a little deflection on the pass. Second and 9. Rice trying to run, and Young just made a really good play as well. He's just nosing in there, got blocked, but he's so big and wide, he just turned around. And Rice couldn't get past him.
He's like a wild man playing left defensive end. He's all over the place. Take a look at him. He starts out here in that wide 9 technique. He walks inside. He messes up the blocking scheme. This defensive line coach, Jim Washburn, has been around a long time. He's got some strange stunts and fronts. And he's got some really good players, and he knows it.
Camden Dawson at receiver. It's 3rd and 10. Flacco, big arm over the middle, too tall. Looking for his rookie Marlon Brown, but the coverage was good. That's a very quick 3 and out for Baltimore.
This defensive line, the stunts, and the amount of switches. Just take a look at these 4 defensive linemen. All 4 of them are going to stunt. It's a TE on one side and ET on the other, and good coverage down the field. A lot of movement in the front 4 from the Lions.
TE is tackle end, ET's end tackle, right?
Hey, you're getting better.
Just trying, you know. Want to get my graduate degree here from Chucky U. Flag is down as it's taken at the 9 by Ross. Return to the 17-yard line. But first, the Laundry to deal with. The hold here on Baltimore. Looking over to see if Jim Schwartz wants to.
Prior to the kick, holding. Number 46 of the kicking team. 10 yards will be added to the end of the return. Timeout.
Add it or re-kick it. He'll take it at the 28-yard line. Line defense holding the Ravens to just a field goal. Good look at downtown Detroit from the Canadian side of the Detroit River. 7-3 Lions over the Ravens. The Ravens story got very interesting, John, with what happened last night with Cincinnati losing. We had the top 3 teams, Denver, New England, Cincinnati, all lost. And that's opened up a lot of things in the playoff chase. Kansas City at 11-3, in very good shape to put some pressure on. And now the Ravens, who were in this spot, but when the Dolphins beat the Patriots, and the Ravens got to win to get back here into the playoff picture down the stretch.
You're right. I learned a long time ago. Wise man told me, just win, baby. Forget about all these scenarios. There's too much going on here. The Ravens need it. The Lions need it. There's a lot at stake tonight.
But we weren't thinking the Ravens would even be in the division conversation. Now if they win out, they win the division and a home playoff game.
A lot of people counted them out last year.
That's right. Stafford first down. Over the middle. Johnson catches it. Took a hit up by the head as he is down at the 35-yard line. Catch number 1 for Johnson.
This play action is much more definitive here in Detroit. It's a slant route. You see the bump and run coverage from Jimmy Smith, but there's a lot more play action passes from the shotgun this year with the emergence of the running game, and that's a big one. The slant on the backside of that one-back power play, they love it.
Johnson take that forearm across the head.
First charge timeout, Detroit.
The Lions will take timeout here before 2nd and 3. So jump back here, John, to that last series.
You know, sometimes when Calvin doesn't catch a pass in the first quarter, he's gone quiet. Sometimes you try awfully hard to get him the ball. I thought on this naked bootleg that Stafford could have thrown the ball to Durham, his backside over route receiver. But when he gets Calvin Johnson one-on-one at any point in time, what did he tell us yesterday? I'm giving him the ball. Good to see Calvin get his first catch, but sometimes I'm convinced the Lions get into a little bit of trouble trying too hard to force the issue. Those are unbelievable numbers, but Stafford has had some problems and interceptions, not only this year, but in previous seasons, trying to get Megatron going.
Got a conversation.
Detroit will not be charged with a timeout due to the penalty.
Detroit took a timeout to try to avoid illegal substitution, 12 men in the huddle, and all that was announced was that they got the timeout. But as the officials got to the conversation, they said the penalty counts, the timeout goes back on the board. So again, one of those pre-snap procedural penalties that you often see with different personnel groups forces the Lions back 5. 1 2nd and 8. Joy Bell runs into Haloti Ngata. He gained about 3 yards. Not has been just in one spot this year, John. Not bouncing around that D-line as much.
Well, they've had him playing nose tackle in their base defense, so he's getting a lot more double teams. It's good to see him in their sub package and him at his normal defensive tackle position. He's also battled some injuries. He missed the Chicago Bear game. And obviously he retreats to the sideline. Man-to-man down for the Ravens secondary. And here's that empty set. Look for another blitz.
Good pass rush group out there. You got Chris Canyon, Terrell Suggs, and Elvis Dumerville. Good pass rushers lined up and bringing a 3-man rush on Stafford, who flings it to Johnson, incomplete. At the very last second, Stafford tried to just throw a curveball towards Johnson, and Suggs' pressure forced it out early.
That's the factor grade of Terrell Suggs. He hasn't had a sack in a few weeks, but he still is a real problem. He beats Riley Reif and gets to Stafford, as does Dumerville, right as he wants to throw it to Calvin Johnson, who clearly had some separation.
Last time the Ravens had a good punt rush, and Sam Martin didn't get good hang time. This is great hang time, and Jacoby Jones has to make a fair catch back at his own 17-yard line. Rookie punter with a lot of good hang time. He's had a good season this year for Detroit. Seeing 1 against 2 in men's college hoop. How about women's college hoops at Cameron Indoor tomorrow? UConn against Duke. And then a men's Jimmy V Classic doubleheader from New York, Pitt, Cincinnati, Florida, Memphis. Great college hoops. ESPN, ESPN2 tomorrow night. Low scoring game thus far. 6:21 till halftime. Flacco's got time. Loves to load up and go deep. It's all covered. So there goes Joe with a slide for a gain of 7 for the Super Bowl MVP.
Once again, very good pass protection out of the play action fake. Just can't find anybody open down the field, but left tackle number 60, Eugene Monroe, doing a fine job on Flacco's backside. That's the second time Joe's taken off for a good game.
He can throw it so far. You know, he's just loading up. He just wants to throw one of those, mile-high miracles, that rainbow shot that he threw in the playoffs last year. Jacoby Jones got behind Raheem Moore. Here's to the left, hit by Sue as he got across. And then Dominican stops him just short of the first down.
That's Dominican Sue on the backside. You're going to see him against Gino Gradkowski. They wanted to line him up, head up against Gradkowski, and try to get a size strength advantage. That time Sue won it. And here's a short yardage situation. 3rd down and 1. The Lions like to jam the front, create some single blocks, and see if they can win in a one-on-one situation.
Pierce hurt that hand, so Ray Rice in. Flacco adjusts the play. Play clock. Got it off in time. We're going to change it to a throw, and it's a first down with the rookie Marlon Brown at the 29-yard line.
Boy, Flacco's lucky to get that off. Bill Bentley came on a blitz. And it might not be a big game, but watch Bentley come off your right side of the screen on this sprint out protection. How about that throw by Flacco?
We have 2 strong arm quarterbacks who trust their arms. Sometimes they make throws that are ill-advised or falling away, but it's because those arms are so strong. from the 29. And a middle shot with a flag down, and a catch by Torrey Smith into Lions territory. If it stands, it's a gain of 22.
That's against the Lions. Another defensive penalty.
Personal foul, face mask, number 36, defense. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
That's Jonte Green starting tonight for Chris Houston.
Take a look at the hands to the face. That was a call. I did not see that.
I mean, at least from that angle, didn't look like a face mask. Thought he got him up by the shoulder pad area, so it becomes a gain of 37.
I don't understand that call at all.
What's it on?
Flacco, pressured, got away, put it up for grabs, and it's incomplete. Well, for Marlon Brown, the flag is thrown back at the 10-yard line. On the Lions. Don Carey sprinting back there in coverage.
I'd be surprised if they don't pick this one up.
Pass interference, number 26, defense. Grabbing the jersey and restricting the receiver. Automatic first down.
I didn't agree with the face mask penalty, and I don't agree with that one. You got to let these players play. There's going to be a lot of scoring records.
You heard the specific explanation as we saw the stumble by Brown. And it's not that one. It's on the other side. They said grabbing the jersey, thus restricting him. Ball is technically touching the 10, so it is first and goal. And it's Rice on the run. And he'll get close to the 6-yard line. Down to the 5 will be marked. It's be a big score for John Harbaugh's team because they get the ball to start the second half here. So their defense has shut the Lions down since the opening drive. Good chance to build some momentum here towards halftime for the Ravens. Torrey Smith alone to the top of the screen. Flacco goes the other side towards Brown, incomplete. Coverage with Don Carey. Smith went all the way up the tunnel.
You know, Carey's in there for run-down purposes. He's a bigger nickel corner. That time they run a little flatten up with Marlon Brown. Marlon Brown has 6 touchdowns. He leads the Ravens with 6 touchdowns. He's an undrafted free agent. What a steal he's become. And a big target in the red zone.
Third and goal. Flacco, pressured, incomplete. Trying to get Ray Rice, but really John Flag is down as well as the Lions were pushing towards Flacco, and there was a hold.
Holding, number 60 offense. That penalty's declined. Fourth down.
Really that pressure that flushed Flacco, the reason he couldn't have any time to find somebody uncovered.
Yes, and good coverage in the secondary, but Eugene Monroe at left tackle, number 60, victimized with the penalty. Pitta on a shallow cross. Moore working inside with Ray Rice underneath. There's nobody open, and it sets up Tucker.
Made from 29. This a 24-yard field goal attempt. And he has made 29 consecutive field goals. 2.5 until the half. And it's a 1-point Lion lead. Back here in Detroit, Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salter, 7-6. Lions and Ravens, only the 4th time these two teams have met. And the Ravens have gotten down to the red zone a couple of times here, John. That Detroit red zone defense, which is good. Joe Flacco and Tyrod Taylor, the backup, looking at the pictures, looking to see where their answer will be later on when they get down there. And 4 yards deep, it'll be taken out by Jeremy Ross. Picking up a block on the left, and Ross, the former Packer, has come in and made an impact on this Lions team after he was cut by Green Bay, shy of the 30. Well, we talked about the picture in the AFC and all the changes. In the NFC, Seattle's in great post position with 2 up, a couple to go. They may not leave Seattle until they go back to the Meadowlands for the Super Bowl. Surprised with the Philadelphia loss and the New Orleans loss yesterday. And here are the Bears. They went back to Jay Cutler and win. So, John, that sent the Lions from this spot, the 4 spot, over to here. But if you win, you come back over to the 4 spot with a couple of weeks left in the season. What are you grinning about? What is this, your own board? You can't, you're the only one who can touch it?
You look like you're on a game show or something.
Here's the big thing, though. How about the Panthers and the 49ers? They're going to go on the road to these teams here in the postseason. You're ridiculous, you know? Lions to the 29, full complement of timeouts. Fake to Burleson, throw to Bell. And, John, that's one of the things with Stafford. It's hard to pick up where the ball's coming from sometimes.
Well, you don't have to throw that sidearm. You fake a reverse. You have a screen set up to your right. Let the back see the throw and throw the ball accurately. It's an awkward release, and the ball's thrown behind and inaccurately, and that's a disappointing way to start a drive. But Matthew Stafford has his own fundamentals.
And you think some of those just awkward deliveries contribute to the drops?
I sure do.
Because we've heard a lot of fundamental conversation about Stafford. He can stand in there and just wing it with the best of them. He does to Nate Burleson there, whose helmet comes off as he gets a first down right near the 40.
Burleson shows a lot of veteran savvy inside. They missed him when he was gone. He's accomplished inside, and Stafford looks for him in key situations.
2-minute warning. Our College Game Day ESPN colleague Desmond Howard, part of this NFL homecoming celebration over the last few weeks. Johnny's on 2 of the most special lists in the sport. Heisman Trophy winner, Super Bowl MVP. Very rare to be on both. And Desmond Howard honored former Lion, of course, Super Bowl MVP with Green Bay. 2-minute warning. Any replay reviews initiated from the booth upstairs. Calvin Johnson, the catch, doesn't go anywhere. Only a yard. It's a good open field tackle by a very big physical corner in Jimmy Smith.
This kid can play. I loved him at Colorado. He's playing with a lot more confidence. Watch Stafford. He sees the blitz. He signals it out to Calvin. Just run that one-step hitch. Normally, Calvin can make you miss, but Jimmy Smith fired away.
2nd and 9. Stafford shot in the middle. Second drop by Calvin Johnson tonight.
That's a staple in this Lion pass offense against 2 deep zones. Pettigrew holds the underneath coverage, and Calvin's wide open in the middle of the Raven defense. 2 huge drops by Megatron. Wow. Both on third, one on 3rd down and one on 2nd and long.
You see career high in drops for Calvin Johnson this year. Because everybody's thinking, well, Matt Elam made those comments about being physical and coming across to play him physically. Stafford got hit as he threw that one, and it's incomplete. And the pressure from Elvis Dumerville having that big pass rusher opposite Terrell Suggs on the edge forces the Lions to punt.
Excuse me, Mike. A lot of people said Dumerville's too short to be a defensive end, but don't ever underestimate his power. He just got underneath the rookie, Adrian Waddle. Good to see him back.
Yep. 9.5 sacks on the year. Let's watch the Ravens pressure off the edge here on this Lions punt. It was well protected. Martin hits a moonshot. Jacoby Jones, the fair catch at the 15-yard line. Toyota halftime is coming up with Chris Berman. We'll have the Sunday soundtracks. Listen to a little Cam Newton and the Carolina big win. Gruden Grinder, you got some good stuff for me from yesterday?
I got some good ones.
A lot of good stuff. I hope you got Matt Alciata from the Vikings as your offensive grinder. I'll be disappointed if you don't. Aaron Rodgers, the latest update, if the Packers will get him back. I mean, think about it. You get the Vikings with no Adrian Peterson, no Toby Gerhardt, and Asiata runs to 3 touchdowns.
I might have somebody even better than that. Hard to believe, but that's why you don't want to leave your TV.
After the 44-yard punt, Baltimore at the 15 with all 3 timeouts. And Flacco to the middle to Jacoby Jones. Hit hard after a gain of 17.
That's an excellent throw by Flacco. That's the same pass that Calvin Johnson just mishandled. And this is where Flacco's at his best. The faster the tempo, the better he plays.
At the minute mark, there's another shot for Jones, and right now he's at the 46. So in 2 snaps, they have gone 39 yards with Jacoby Jones.
I credit the pass protection. We challenged the Raven offensive line in the pregame. They have done an outstanding job quieting the Silver Bullet Band, that's for sure. I haven't heard any instruments. Good work collectively by the front of the Ravens, and Ndamukong Suh and his mates got to pick it up in this 2-minute drive.
Flacco flushed this time. Levy chases him. Pass incomplete to the sideline. DeAndre Levy, 6 interceptions, came into the week leading the league in that column. Now he's a 1 spot behind.
Well, you called it. You know, when Ray Rice stays in the block, Levy has the coverage. And when the back stays in, the backer gets a green light to blitz. That's why we call it a green dog. And DeAndre Levy, the veteran, who was re-signed in the offseason, does that extremely well.
Second and 10, out of his hands quick to Jacoby Jones. A good job off the edge by Glover Quinn, the former Texan. Takes it down to 40 seconds left. The 3rd down coming up. The Ravens have full complement of timeouts sitting on him here.
They like this moving clock. It's regulated the Lions in terms of the looks they've shown.
They bring pressure. Free runner to Flacco. Got away. Put it up top for Marlon Brown. Incomplete. And the flag is thrown late. It was Bill Bentley and Louis Delmas in coverage. And the late flag is thrown.
And what a great job by Flacco just getting that ball off. Stephen Tulloch is unblocked, and that's one of the benefits in the vertical passing game. Sometimes you get the PI and sometimes you get the catch.
A long conversation going on here. Jerry Austin up here in the booth with us thinks it's a good call.
I think that's
Personal
PI,
foul, unnecessary roughness, number 26, defense. For illegal contact on a defenseless player to the head and neck area. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So it's not pass interference to take it down to the spot of the foul at the 4, but it's 15 that will bring him into field goal range.
Thought Bentley had the PI. It's a foul on Delmas going to the headgear area.
And he clearly did with the helmet, and I just was looking at the pass interference call there, but the penalty will bring them down, and with a very good leg on the kicker, Justin Tucker, they're in field goal range now with just 16 seconds left.
And 3 timeouts. Do not take a sack and get knocked out of field position. John Harbaugh told us last night Flacco has been sacked in this field position a couple times this year, and it's knocked him out of field goal range.
Here field goals 46 yards. Lions take timeout as they have their full complement of 3 with 16 seconds left. We talk about Flacco in these situations, and you mentioned before how you really like Joe Flacco when they go no huddle. It's that whole Joe Cool thing, and people were wondering, well, does he have the leadership? Does he have that personality to be a lead guy? People called him dull when he came out early on. He was just feeling his way around the league. But now that Ed Reed is no longer here and Ray Lewis is on our team, you notice Flacco has stepped up his leadership. And last night, John Harbaugh said, hey, it's his team now. Our identity offensively that we were looking for, We put it in Joe's hands when it matters the most.
Yeah, they're shifting gears, Mike. They're no longer a run-it-first operation. They want the ball in Flacco's hands, and with Pitta back, he's got an arsenal of men to throw it to.
16 seconds left. Flacco with the throw, complete to Pitta, inside the 20 and down to the 14, and they've got the timeouts. John Harbaugh was right down by the official to stop it as soon as the play ended with 10 seconds left.
Flacco knows exactly where to go. He's seeing the coverages quicker. He's reading rotations faster, and the ball's coming out accurately. And there's Pitta, who can really work in the middle of the defense. Only his second game back, but it's amazing Pitta's even playing.
A fractured and dislocated hip. A very good story in the Baltimore Sun about his comeback was written today. Just on the way to the hospital, every bump they hit, he felt this excruciating pain. No idea he could play again this year. Final 8 seconds. Flacco pumping, looking, and get trashing out of the back of the end zone. With 4 seconds left, and the field goal unit will come on. A big part of the story in this first half, as it has been, John, throughout the year. The announcement that it was non-intentional grounding. Part of the story throughout the year has been the 6 penalties tonight for Detroit here. 3 of them for first downs. That big one got them into field goal range, and Justin Tucker will try to end the half from 32 yards. And Schwartz will take a timeout.
They might be icing the wrong guy. Tucker, he might be on his way to an NFL record. He doesn't just make them, Mike. He hits majestic shots. He's good from anywhere on the field in any kind of weather. Think about what he did last year in Denver to send them to the Super Bowl. What a performer this Tucker is.
Yeah, he is 61 for 66 for his career. Second year out of Texas. And in warm-ups, he'll come out with that little device that just holds the ball for the kicker. No holder out there as Cook is right now. He made one from 70. If he gets you to use the word majestic, he must be good.
Took me 2 days.
Morgan Cox is the snapper. And from 32, he bangs that one through, and it brings the first half to an end. Detroit had that opening drive, but Baltimore handles the heat. 3 field goals, and at the break, Chris, Baltimore gets the ball to start the second half, and they have the lead by 2. Reggie Bush run at the 5. Reggie Bush, touchdown Detroit.
Joe Flacco has been hit too many times this year. Tucker, he might be on his way to an NFL record.
Added 3 field goals on this cold and snowy Midwestern night in Detroit. Temperature in the teens, snow on the way. Ravens lead by 2. We head to the second half, pivotal game both ways. Mike Tirico, John Gruden. We'll hear from Lisa Salters in a minute. You set it up before the game that this matchup you felt would be decided on an offensive line that has struggled against a defensive line which is very impressive. So far, advantage Ravens.
Really is. I got to give them a lot of credit. They haven't run the ball very well, right, but they have pass protected. Look at Flacco. But they have pass protected. Look at Flacco. Step up in the pocket. They handle the 4-man rush. He can stride up, finish off his front foot. He'll hit every one of these. And twice in a 2-minute drive, Flacco had an opportunity to drive the ball down the field. Good pass protection from left tackle Eugene Monroe to right tackle Michael Orr, but they have to finish. 9-7 game, but the offensive line of the Ravens has done an excellent job.
And John Harbaugh felt pretty good about this matchup, despite what all the numbers told us with the negative run plays, the sacks of Flacco, and the disappointed first half of the season for this Ravens offensive line. Felt like they were coming together here over these stretches in the last few games, not scoring touchdowns like the rest of the league seems to, but holding their own, and they did in that first half.
Well, they've got a new line coach here, Juan Castillo. They've got a new center in Gino Gradkowski. A lot of new things happening with the Ravens offensive line, but clearly it's a big step forward today.
Second half underway, and again it's a kickoff by Akers. It sends it all the way through the end zone, and no return. Here's Lisa.
Hey, Mike, remember John Harbaugh told us before the game that a win for the Ravens would count on how well his offensive line holds up, and I asked him about that. He said, I think they're holding up really well, but they did start to get some pressure on Joe Flacco towards the end of that first half, Harbaugh said, because they were grabbing, according to Harbaugh, on the stunts. He says that's illegal. They cannot do that. I'm sure he's already talked to the officials about it. As for the Lions and their defensive penalties, Jim Schwartz said 2 of those wouldn't have been penalties if we just made the sacks. As for Calvin Johnson, he said, we're not used to seeing him drop the balls either, but I didn't have to say anything. He's a prideful guy. I'm sure he'll make a lot of big plays in this half. Mike?
Have to wait. Flacco in the offense first, and Pierce runs to the left, and he is stopped for no gain. Willie Young, Stephen Tulloch in on that tackle. Well, as we look at those first half stats, we remind you the 131 yards for Detroit, 78 came on that first drive, so credit the Ravens defense. And John, the penalties and third down conversions self-inflicted for the Lions, and third down conversions credit the Raven defense again.
And 2 big drops by Calvin Johnson.
Ravens have marched the ball down the field a long way on those 3 field goal attempts. Flacco, flush, good awareness to get it out to Brown. And the rookie receiver gains a half dozen yards. Such a good poised play by Flacco.
Well, Baltimore's done a nice job on Ndamukong Suh. Number 90, you see Michael Orr switching a stunt with Marshall Yanda. Yanda can play. And once again, Joe Flacco's mobility and creativity and strong arm keep it alive to set up a 3rd and 4.
Lions rush 5, and Flacco rips it toward the sideline for Jones. Incomplete. Louis Delmas the coverage, and the Lions hold the Ravens 3 and out to start this second half.
I'm glad you brought up Louis Delmas. He's had a lot of injuries the last couple years. They protect Delmas on the practice field, and they put some incentives in his contract, Mike, some playing time incentives. And Delmas has only missed 6 plays this year, but he brings a lot of playmaking to the Lions secondary.
Sent by Cook. Return room for Ross from the 20. Leads a block to 30. And Jeremy Ross will get down to the 36-yard line. John Harbaugh, who was a special teams coach during his Philadelphia days, was asking for a block in the back. See if Calvin can hang on to the throws from Stafford when we come back. Back here in Detroit, best starting field position for the Lions in this game. From their own 37, here's Bush. Scored the touchdown on the earlier drive and fights forward for about 4.5 yards. John, we talked about the drops from Calvin Johnson in the first half.
Well, one of them, a huge drop on 3rd and long with a 7-0 lead. And then the second one on 2nd down and 9 would have been clearly a first down, but it's time for the Lions to make their move. If they want to continue in this race, the Ravens will not go quietly. They've proved that for the last several years. This is the defending world champions.
2nd and 5. Stafford throwing to Johnson, and he's able to hang on despite the hit from James Ahedebo. First down Detroit at the 40.
That was a great catch. Inside release, push up the field, break to the outside, find the ball and make an acrobatic catch. And Ahedebo delivers a catch, but that's that fearless nature that Calvin Johnson has played his entire career with. He's shaken up there.
Taking a couple of hard hits, and the Ravens are trying to back up their safety Matt Elam's words by being physical with him. Reggie Bush with the run between the tackles to the 36. Gain of 4 there as Johnson comes back on the field.
And the Ravens continue to rotate on defense. Number 62, first time I've seen the big man. Terrence Cody has just checked in. 97, Arthur Jones. They are loaded with mammoth defensive linemen. That's what Ozzie Newsome does. He fills his house with big defensive linemen.
Executive Vice President of these Ravens. Great personnel decisions over the years. Joyce Bell with the carry. 4 yards to the 32-yard line. And John, their depth and variety of defenders, you see a whole different group of looks depending what they want to dial up defensively.
And Daryl Smith is the leader of it, Mike. He came in here as an anonymous player. I don't think anybody knew who he was. 9 years in Jacksonville. He comes in here, he leads them in tackles, he makes all the calls. He understands this complex defense. He's batted down 17 passes, broke Ray Lewis's record already. He's a force on every down. I got to give him a lot of credit.
Detroit team that struggles in short yardage at times because they don't line up and run it with no fullback on their roster. 3rd and 1s are throwdowns, and it's off the hands of Bush. And on the deflection, D'Angelo Tyson has the interception. The second-year man out of Georgia, Tyson, comes up with the game's first turnover.
Short yardage. You have 2 backs that can run the football. You go with an empty backfield set. The Ravens blitz it and make the play of the night.
Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, Matthew Stafford, looking back at the pictures. And 3rd and 1, as I was saying, John, they don't have a fullback. They don't line up and run the ball there. And the tip takes away a field goal opportunity and gives the Ravens the ball. And we have movement up front with Sue and Yondo.
Start number 77, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
We'll take a look at it. You see Daryl Smith, number 51. He's going to see the no-back set. He checks into a blitz. And 91 off the left side of your screen is unblocked. Haloti Ngata tips the pass, and it's intercepted by Tyson. But it's Daryl Smith communicating the blitz. It's the execution of the call that delivers once again for the defending champs.
1st and 15, Flacco after the flag, and Dixon tackled by Tulloch and Levy. And Ngata, he's just coming in, he's just getting a hand up somehow, some way. I don't even know if the pass would have been completed to Reggie Bush. They had been running the ball effectively tonight, so it's an interesting choice to be made there.
Yeah, I don't agree with that call at all because you're in 4-down territory and you've been running the ball pretty good all night.
Let's see what the defending champions can do with the game's first turnover. Ray Rice to the left, big space for Rice. Chased down by Delmas, but a first down for Ray Rice to the 41-yard line.
Shotgun runs, offset back. They run the ball to the weak side, and A.Q. Shipley. Watch number 60, Eugene Monroe, at the point of attack. The line stunts that the Detroit Lions are using are backfiring at times. Well done inside by Gradkowski and Shipley.
15-yard run for Rice. The second one he's had that long this year. And up for Marlon Brown, who's got it at the 35-yard line. What a job by Rice to pick up the pressure, and Flacco with the perfect touch.
How about the throw? He's throwing that as he's backing up from right to left. Just watch the delivery. He just flicks this ball 25 yards down the field with tremendous touch. Over the linebackers, underneath the safety. You can't coach that.
When the guys go back and watch the film, that's a wow. Ray Rice picking up and Ndamukong Suh coming down the pipe there.
You can't coach that either.
Yeah, it's great stuff from Rice. The 35, more pressure. Flacco again putting it up for Jones this time. Incomplete. Step-for-step run by Rasheem Mathis in coverage.
It's another pickup by Ray Rice. Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator of the Lions, is coming after Flacco with up-the-gut pressures. Here's Levy coming, and Ray Rice picks it up. But it's Flacco's ability to just flick the ball long distances with very little effort that distinguishes this cannon he has.
Rice out of the pistol, going left, seeking space and gaining 4 yards. But John, you see the communication. It's interesting to watch how they're using the shotgun snaps as the communication with Gradkowski, the center, and then his guard right next to him telling him when it's time to go.
I know. Well, Gradkowski is reading the defense. And Yanda is seeing when Flacco's ready, and he'll tap Gradkowski, and then the ball is snapped. But the center and right guard work together, snap after snap, communicating all these calls and getting the ball delivered.
Lions bring the heat. Tried the middle, and that time was deflected away by Jonte Green on third down. It will set up a long field goal attempt for Tucker.
How about Jonte Green right there? Came into the game, only had played 22 snaps all year. Chris Houston's out. Darius Slay out. They go to Jonte Green, who delivers a huge play in the slot. And here's Tucker, Mr. Automatic.
This one tests that a little bit from 49. Just inside the left upright. And it is 31 in a row. And 4 consecutive field goals for Tucker. The toe of Tucker as the Ravens up 5. We wrap up the 44th season of Monday Night Football in San Francisco as a rematch of the NFC Championship game, but a very disappointing year for the Falcons. Hugely important for the 49ers as they continue their playoff positioning. And it is the final game in Candlestick Park, perhaps the final game ever. Given what happens with the playoffs, the 49ers might not host a playoff game. So one of the iconic, historic buildings, not just in the NFL, but Major League Baseball as well. A farewell at Candlestick, great ceremony plan that's on the docket for us a week from tonight. As another no-return kick from Tucker gives the Lions the ball at the 20-yard line. You coached in San Francisco at the start of your coaching career. We've been lucky enough to be there for some Monday night games. Well, farewell to Candlestick. There is one moment that remembered forever in the National Football League.
Yeah, red left slot, sprint right option. Plays designed to go to Freddie Solomon, but on the back line, Dwight Clark ran the option, and there's that kid Joe Montana out of Notre Dame. Touchdown 49ers. That gives me goosebumps. That was a great day, man.
It's a great crowd shot there. It'll be fun to have some of the greats of Niners days gone past there to say farewell to Candlestick. What a play as Reggie Bush tried to get to the corner and is erased by Matt Elam, that rookie safety from Florida, who's making noise with his play tonight.
You know, Elam played in the box at Florida a lot. Here for the Ravens, he's playing at the deep safety a lot. Here he is coming downhill and making a beautiful open field tackle. That's why Ozzie Newsome drafted Elam in the first round out of Florida. He can play free safety, strong safety. He's even got some cornerback in his background. What a play by Elam.
Started about 18 yards back. Read it, saw it was run, got to his spot. Another jump up front. It'll cost the Ravens 5. Stafford's got a free play. He's got Calvin Johnson through a tackle and to the Ravens' 45-yard line.
It's going to be a good play. They got Cody, as you said. There's no reroute on the outside. They play a cover 2 zone, and they don't get the reroute on Calvin Johnson, and he hurts Baltimore.
Offside, number 92 defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play, first down.
And the 37-yard completion.
Take a look at it. Calvin Johnson gets a release on Jimmy Smith. There's no reroute, and Hedebo can't get there from his 2-deep safety position. Luckily, Smith can bring Megatron down.
Lions back in Raven territory at the 46. The rolling Stafford looks back. Thinks about throwing it. Now takes off. Stumbling and bumbling. And finally down at the 42-yard line. I don't know what he was going to do with that one. Maybe he didn't either. Well, Calvin Johnson's numbers, nearly 1,700 yards in 2011. We were here last year when he broke the single season receiving mark, just under 2,000 yards. And this year, despite the drops tonight, he's gone over 1,400 yards. It's the third player in league history with 3 straight 1,400s, along with the modern-day terrific receivers, Marvin Harrison, Jerry Rice, and 2.5 games to get 85 yards and be the first to do 1,500 plus 3 straight years. Bush up to the down to the 35-yard line. Darryl Smith and Suggs on the tackle.
Wow, that's a punishing run. Right behind Larry Warford at right guard. Watch the double team, and they press it with Reggie Bush, who bounces it to the outside, and that's just a nice finish. Good surge up front by the Lion offensive line, and Reggie Bush, 10 carries, 59 yards, has run the ball extremely well tonight.
Brandon Pettigrew's name mentioned more in the run game and blocking here tonight. He's done a nice job. Bush, nice jump cut by Reggie. Take the hits as he goes to the 32-yard line. Bush had some fumbling issues as he's going to come out for Joyke Bell. And especially Thanksgiving, had an early fumble against Green Bay. And was able to come back in and have a big offensive day. Just has a shoe pop off.
Joseph Fourier is checked in at tight end. Pass receiving specialist and a real good dancer when he scores.
He just does his work down inside the 5-yard line usually. Joyke Bell got away from the penetration, but gains 2 yards to the 30, and the Lions will have a 3rd and 5 inside of 5 left here in the 3rd quarter. A hard-nosed game, a lot of between the tackles run, some long drives. And the Baltimore defense has been what's impressed me here, John. They have kept Detroit's offense from their deep shots and their big plays that they live on.
And T. Sizzle has just checked back in the lineup, number 55, who has made a lot of plays in critical 3rd down situations at the top of the screen for the Ravens.
And Theo Riddick is in. That running back split wide, the rookie from Notre Dame. The throw is caught by Riddick for the 1st down at the 23-yard line. Man, that's hard. You don't play offense, just special teams most of the game, and come up with a big catch to keep a drive alive.
Now, Theo Riddick, they've used him creatively all year. Right side of your screen. Pettigrew comes across the formation for the pickup, but that's an excellent catch by Theo Riddick on a ball thrown away from his body.
6th-round pick out of Notre Dame, did it all. Running back, slot man, wide receiver, kick returner. This good special teams play keeps LaSure inactive week after week. There was Bush trying to stop on the dime and grabbing at that left knee as he came to that quick halt.
Had that calf problem last week in pregame. Was a scratch for that Eagle game, as you brought up. Looked like he might have aggravated that calf.
We're grabbing for that leg right away. And the Lions athletic training staff and Dean Kleinschmidt's been here for a long time. Get a look at Reggie right away.
2 halfbacks in the game. Riddick just shipped it out to his left with Joyke Bell as the single back.
Terrell Suggs, 55, lurking. How's he going to get back there? Bell has nowhere to go. He is stopped by Arthur Jones. The man from Syracuse has had some kind of year on that defensive front.
One of the most improved inside players I've seen this year. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, but Arthur Jones has had over 40 tackles. He's beaten double teams. He's got 4 sacks. He's really turned into a fine defensive tackle here in his stay in Baltimore. He's going to be a rich man if he finishes like he's played all year.
His brother Chandler's so good with the Patriots, and of course the other brother, John Bones Jones, the UFC champion. 3rd and 9, Lions in field goal range. Here comes Raven pressure. Stafford taking a shot. End zone for Durham. Incomplete. And no flag. It looked like Webb was all over the arm of Durham, and that's what Stafford was complaining. And it's a field goal attempt.
I thought it was an arm bar. Take a look at Durham. It's a straight go route. He grabbed that left arm. That's amazing.
Look at his right hand on the left arm right there.
That's an arm bar. I mean, that's officiating 101 there.
Wow. So it's a 40-yard field goal for David Akers, who's missed 5 this year and has been struggling. It's a 39-year-old veteran, able to knock it through and make it a 2-point game. Every flag so important. Blatant missed call there. But the Lions do get the field goal, and the lead is 2. Field goal, 12-10. Lions should have had a pass interference. I got John and Jerry here to talk. Hey, great, John. You get to yell at an official again. Go ahead.
Yeah, you make the call, Jerry. I mean, the playoffs are on the line. I just showed you the go route to Durham. But an arm bar is when the corner grabs the receiver's arm and prohibits him from going up and making a play on the ball. But that's pass interference. I want to know what's going on.
You're right, Coach. It is pass interference. Pass interference should have been called. That's an inside pull. The back judge on the back line should have been able to see that.
But where's your flag? Throw it out there. Do something before the game resumes.
Yeah.
These are plays, though, that are hard to call. I understand that. But what a significant play in a playoff caliber game in week 15 of the regular season. It just drives me crazy as an ex-coach. That's why I'm safe up here with you, Tirico.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And that's part of what you advocate. You want a challenge for coaches to challenge judgment calls.
Hey, if you have two challenges, you can use them whenever you want. Let the officials have an opportunity to right or wrong. But that could come back and cost Detroit a division title and a playoff berth, period.
Akers with the kick. He is coming to the kickoff roll tonight to try to limit Jacoby Jones' returns, and he's had 3 touchbacks on the night. So the pass interference calls and the Ravens been a part of the story going back, of course, to the Super Bowl. The call Jim Harbaugh still looking for.
Well, decided the world championship. How about last week? Did Chad Greenway interfere with Dennis Pitta underneath in his coverage? A lot of people said he didn't. And then this 2-point play. Didn't Shockey Brown interfere with that man at the end of regulation? So pass interference is a bigger call than any call. And I think these coaches deserve an opportunity to challenge it because their careers are on the line.
Ravens take over from the 20. Here's Rice with the run. He is stopped for no gain. Let me be devil's advocate. Don't coaches make bad calls? Don't coaches call the wrong play? Don't you make mistakes in game?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you see that on TV all week. I mean, a coach makes a call in 25 seconds, and we get a week to go over all the bad ones. There's no question. It's an impossible job officiating, but the magnitude of these games is so significant. I just think we got to take a look at how pass interference is impacting them.
Minute 10 left in the third. Lions continuing to bring pressure. It's picked up, and Flacco ripping them to Torrey Smith, just shy of the 40 and a first down.
If you protect Joe Flacco, he'll win another world championship. Stunts, blitzes. It's just not getting there tonight consistently, and Joe Flacco makes another superb throw. Ray Rice once again sorts it all out, but Gino Gradkowski, the young centers, made some great calls inside, and the pickups have been good.
He throws the ultimate NFL films ball. You know, the tight shot on that really super tight rotating spiral. Man, what a great arm. And there go the Lions, who do this more than anyone else. Early jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, number 98 defense, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Take a look at it. Motion, hard counts. And it's an easy call for the official. And I don't know, 10 penalties on a defensive tackle is not championship football.
It's fairly. Flacco, Joe Cool saying, hang on. Quarter running out. We got the lead. Let's take 1st and 5 over to the 4th. Each team with a field goal in the 3rd. Through 3. The Ravens by 2 on Monday Night Football. The Ravens reached the top of the mountain last year, Super Bowl champions. The Lions' last NFL championship, 1957. 4th quarter begins. 1st and 5 off the Detroit offside. And Ray Rice with a gain of 2, tackled by Ndamukong Suh. I thought you made a good point, John. These are not the world champs. On our podcast this week, you said right away, hey, they're the defending champs, but this is so different because of all the faces that are gone. Yet they're starting to pull the character of a championship team together. Look at all the close wins they've had this year. You're kind of sensing they are very comfortable in the spot they're in. While the other guys, the Lions, they're feeling the pressure of no division titles for 20 years.
You either feel the pressure or apply it. And right now, the Lions are feeling it, and Flacco's applying it.
2nd and 3, pressure on. Flacco got it knocked out of his hands. Recovered by the Ravens.
There's the pass rush. And Ndamukong Suh at crunch time. Number 90 working against Gronkowski. He's capable of making impact plays that can decide a football game. And that almost was one of them.
Glover Quinn coming around, got past Ray Rice on the pickup and got the ball. Suh has been a part of back-to-back plays to start this quarter, and now 3rd and 10. This time Detroit rushes forward. It's a screen with Rice. Good blocking downfield, but a better play by DeAndre Levy will keep Rice too shy of a 1st down.
Oh, this is a lot of people giving great effort. Just watch the backside guard, Marshall Yanda, try to get Nick Fairley on this screen pass. Look at the effort. Look at Yanda running to get Fairley. Both of these teams know what's at stake. You're in for a great 4th quarter.
You're right. That's a play you could rewind 15 times. Watch all the different guys and the effort that they made on that one. Cook, outstanding at pinning teams inside their own 20. He's going to put the Lions back at their own 12-yard line with a good hang time on the kick to Jeremy Ross. Ravens close with the Bengals, who they have beaten already. So if they win tonight, they control their own destiny in the AFC North. Down in the NFC North, remember the Bears and Packers play Week 17. So one of those teams is going to add to their win total no matter what happens, or a tie as well. Meaning if the Lions don't win tonight, they may not even play a meaningful game in Week 17 when all is said and done. That's how important this game is both ways in this 4th quarter. Reggie Bush, who's done most of his running between the tackles tonight, to the 16.
You know, every play, Jimmy Smith has Calvin Johnson. He turns inside. He wants to know where his safety help is at all times. He's going to turn around and see if Elam's there for him. And if Elam says you're on your own, he gives him the thumbs up and says, I got it. But they can get help inside. They can get help over the top, or they can leave Smith by himself. But so far, they've done an excellent job mixing it up on Calvin Johnson.
2nd and 7, pressure on Stafford, who hung in there to get Burleson. And Nate Burleson to the 38-yard line. Pressure came right up the middle from Nata, but Stafford hung in there.
Pressure. Wow. Elodie Nata, what power. He comes inside, he beats Warford and plants Stafford, who makes an outstanding throw to Burleson. Wow.
Could have been a loss of 12, turned into a gain of 23. Big. The 39 Bush on an outside bounce. Durham couldn't get a block on the edge on Lardarius Webb and forced out of bounds at the 43-yard line. You know, you go back to Stafford in that play, and you've often talked about stats and yards and QBRs and passer ratings. There's something there on that play that you'll never show up in any stat. Your willingness to hang in there and throw it, especially when you haven't done it over the last 4 games in the 4th quarter.
Well, he's been guaranteed $94 million to play quarterback of the Lions. Guaranteed $94 million to make throws like that and deliver in these situations. I'd love to see him do it.
On the boot, put on the brakes, and throws it away. Trashed that one over the head of Calvin Johnson. Courtney Upshaw with the good pressure. It's a 2nd-round pick out of Alabama.
They have so many people that can physically take it to you at the outside linebacker position. It's not just inside. You forget Upshaw's even here.
Yeah.
Doomerville's here. Suggs is here. They have a lot of big people that can play a variety of different positions. And Terrell Suggs has taken the leadership torch from Ray Lewis and done a pretty good job carrying it.
Ravens defense has been really good on third downs. Suggs is lining up right over the center. We got dropping coverage. Stafford taking a shot towards Megatron. Calvin can't get there. Step for step, fabulous coverage from Jimmy Smith. And the Lions will kick it away.
Don't know what the coverage is. That time it's just a three-man rush. And young Jimmy Smith is coming into his own. A straight go route. I don't think Calvin even expected the ball until late. But Jimmy Smith can really play the ball in the blind spot. When he's playing that man coverage and has to look up and find it at the last second, he's proved he could do it at Colorado, and he's proven it again tonight.
You liked him coming out in the draft, didn't
really
you?
Did. Well coached there, and he's emerging.
Sam Martin kicking. Jones going to see if he can kill it inside 10. He cannot. So it's 57, but the number that matters the most, 37 net yards on the punt. Just under 11 minutes left. In this area, one of the great spots to go, Greenfield Village. Some of the great holiday traditions. You got some old Model Ts there. Of course, the American auto industry with its roots here. The Ford family owns these Lions, who trail by 2 against the Super Bowl champs. Flacco's throw is incomplete. A good game from Jonte Green. Again, starting John for the injured Chris Houston.
Flacco was late with that throw. A hook route right over his inside shoulder. A nice job by Jonte Green in transition, getting that inside arm on the ball. Second and long. Like to see Fairley and Sue cut it loose without any stunts.
Bernard Pierce is the back behind Flacco. And a run for Pierce. That's a second-year man out of Temple. He's got about a third of the snaps, 2/3 of the snaps going to Ray Rice.
And it sets the stage for 3rd and 6. It's been a blitz down. The Lions came in with a top-ranked third down defense, a lot of it because of this pass rush and the assistance they get from their home crowd. Let's see if Bernard Pierce can pick up a blitz, because the Lions have repeatedly peppered Flacco in the second half.
It was Delmas just ran in to change DeAndre Levy's defensive position. Flacco had his arm hit as he went to throw. And again, Willie Young off the edge with a pressure rush.
It's that heat, that clock in your head. You don't get very long to throw the ball at this place. Take a look at Willie Young at the bottom of the screen working against Michael Orr. That's why you look for long arms at the combine. You want to be able to reach out, use that wingspan. Sometimes it's a matter of inches. Nice play by Willie Young.
Sam Cook kicks to Jeremy Ross. Retreating on a 53-yard kick. Ross trying to set up blocks. This is well covered. This is very good special teams from Baltimore. John Harbaugh's position as a coach for a long time. Jerry Rossberg coaches the group up. 9:55 to go. It's the home of the Detroit Tigers next door, Comerica Park, where they've got the ice down because they got some hockey events around the Winter Classic. Our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. The Red Wings are going to play the Maple Leafs out at the Big House in Ann Arbor, but a lot of events, college games, high school games downtown next door as well. Lions running out of opportunities. Rejected by Nata on the pass by Stafford. That's the second one he's gotten his hands on cleanly here tonight.
And that's not as easy as it looks. He knows that Stafford gets rid of the ball quickly. Watch 92 rushing from the inside. As soon as he sees that arm start to throw the football, he can time that reach perfectly.
Happens a lot to Stafford, tied with Chad Henne. So a 2nd and 10, Reggie Bush run. Good acceleration by Bush and a gain of 8. It'll be 3rd and 2.
I'd like to be Rasheem Mathis right there, Mike. This ball winds all the way backside. It's the same play he scored on, really. Watch this thing come all the way backside, and Rasheem Mathis on the right side of your screen. 21's got to make this tackle. Excuse me, not Rasheem Mathis. That's Lardarius Webb. I get excited. I seeing my guy Webb out there.
Corner on the opposite side. So now 3rd and 2. Doran Dickerson, the tight end, came in motion. Stafford slinging sidearm, and it's intercepted by Darryl Smith. And Smith is brought down at the 34-yard line. So again, the crucial mistakes and turnovers. Pernell McPhee the pressure, and in the tight space, Smith gets his 3rd pick of the year.
And it's the 2nd time that Stafford has thrown an interception on 3rd and short yardage situations. He's late down the middle. He throws a sidearm pass. He's trying to make the perfect throw, and 30 turnovers for the Lions. And Stafford's responsible for 20 of them. That's just a bad decision.
The interception's what? 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2. And Darryl Smith, the man brought into the Ray Lewis spot here in this Ravens defense. A sack and a pick and 4 tackles tonight. And a field goal here, and they're only a few yards away, really in Tucker's range right now, would be huge. But Flacco wants more. Taking a shot for Torrey Smith, incomplete.
Take a look at the pick, and you know, you're just going to watch Stafford's mechanics here throwing the football. The rush is on, but you're late down the middle. You try to make an awkward sidearm throw into a host of Baltimore Ravens in that field position. You just can't do it, Mike, with a 2-point deficit against the defending world champions.
I'm sorry. Look at the route distribution, too. You have 2 receivers in the same spot. Second and 10. Flacco's going to get it out to Brown off the edge, and he's erased quickly by Don Carey.
Flacco's shaken up.
Hey, you're right.
He got hit hard. I don't know if it's a running play with one of those built-in quick screens to the outside, but Flacco got hit hard. Right out of the fake, he throws the ball, and down low you see Levy, the linebacker. Let's see if Flacco's okay.
Yeah, he's still flexing that left knee as he's waiting for the shotgun snap here, John. That's a scary one here. Because you can't go low on the quarterback. You have to see if Levy was blocked or tripped at the line. 3rd and 11. And he just throws that one incomplete.
Let's go back to that hit, Mike.
Absolutely. It's a huge play here.
Helmet right on that knee.
Just hear Flacco say that. And again, you have to go back to the front end to see if Levy was tripped or tackled. But from the looks of that replay and live, it looks like that should have been flagged for going low on the quarterback. 53-yard field goal coming here. It would equal the season long for Justin Tucker. What a kicker. What a kicker. Absolutely perfect.
Buy that man a steak dinner.
It is all 5 field goals for Tucker, but concern for the Ravens with Flacco. It's Dr. Leanne Curl, the chief orthopedic surgeon for the Ravens. She's been talking with Joe Flacco, looking at his knee, trailing him here throughout the timeout as everybody's keeping an eye on the Ravens' number 5, the Super Bowl MVP who took that shot in the left knee on that second down play a series ago. Tyrod Taylor is the backup for Baltimore. He has played minimally, just 13 snaps this year. Meantime, the Lions are down 5 in decision, and Ross decides to hold it. Now, as we looked at replay, John, let's see. We see the hit by DeAndre Levy, but then when you go back to watch the front end of the play, he was pushed in that direction.
Well, he's blitzing the A gap, and left guard A.Q. Shipley was trying to release on the quick screen, and you see watch the left guard right here, A.Q. Shipley.
It's hard to decipher through
It
that.
really is, but
Off balance,
just hope
intent.
Flacco's all right.
Yeah.
Holy.
Off balance or intent, it's hard to decipher. Meantime, the Lions now need a touchdown as they're down 5 with 8 minutes left. They figured to get the ball a couple of times, and a flag is down after that short run by Reggie Bush.
He's holding.
Holding, number 75 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It's on the rookie Larry Warford, and the self-inflicted Detroit mistakes, that trend and storyline continue.
It's Arthur Jones, 97. The 8th penalty.
So now 1st and 20 for Stafford. And Reggie Bush underneath with some space. He'll get 9 of them back to the 19-yard line. Jameel McClain shaken up. He's going to take himself off. Meantime, they continue to work on Flacco's knee.
Once again, the Ravens continue to substitute these linebackers. You're going to see Darryl Smith never leave the field, but 56 is just checked in. He's a specialist. Josh Bynes. All these linebackers do different things in this nickel defense for Dean Pease and the Ravens.
2nd and 11, a Stafford slingshot to Johnson. Calvin takes a big hit and hangs on. First down at the 40 in a gain of 21.
Calvin Johnson on a deep square in pattern. He takes a hit. He's walking off the field here. You're 6'5" and you have that wingspan. Hard to miss a target like that. What a catch.
Targeted 12 times tonight, 5 catches. Bush with that jump across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Lisa Salters, I saw you over there watching them work on Flacco.
Yeah, Mike, no official word yet from the Ravens, but Flacco appeared to indicate that he was all right. In fact, he was playing around a little bit with the Detroit fans who were heckling him over here behind the bench. I picked up a football and pretended that he was going to fire one up in the stands. Of course, he was just kidding. But he did, Mike, seem very upset that there was no penalty called on that play where he got hurt.
Thank you, Lise. 2nd and 4. Approaching 5.5 left in regulation. Stafford for Johnson. Couldn't drop it in the bucket. Incomplete.
Stafford wants that one back. Same route they hit earlier. It's a 2-deep zone. Calvin releases to the outside. He's wide open in a dead zone between the corner and the safety, and Stafford overthrew him. Stafford has got to find his rhythm here at crunch time. He's been off in the second half, Mike.
Third and 4. Pressure's picked up underneath. It is a first down picked up on the dive by Pettigrew. A rare catch for Brandon Pettigrew here tonight. Keeps this drive going.
That's a veteran play by Brandon Pettigrew. Just a flat route. He's going to catch it over his outside shoulder, and he's got to get north and south and lower his shoulder on Matt Elam to get the first down. Good play on both ends by Elam, the young safety, and Pettigrew, the veteran tight end, who gets the first down.
They've taped up Flacco's knee. Looks like he is likely to return. Early word from that Ravens sideline. Will he be protecting the lead or trying to get it back? Inside of 5 left. Stafford, middle. Johnson hangs on off the Ahead-of-Bow hit. And he felt that 15-yarder.
And Ahead-of-Bow better, but watch out for the double move. He read that perfectly. The veteran safety saw Calvin Johnson run that play earlier in the first half. He got a good jump on it. That's a bullet by Stafford. But once again, Calvin Johnson showcases his toughness in a crowd.
Johnson takes a breather. 4:20 to go. Might be the last time they see the ball. Joyce Bell with an inside run. What a pop laid by Jameel McClain, the 60-year linebacker out of Syracuse.
McClain's lucky to be playing. Had a serious neck problem, missed a lot of the season, but he is a physical inside linebacker and a great run defender. Had a lot of forward progress with Jameel McClain patrolling the inside of the Raven defense.
Inside run is fake over the top, and it is caught and hung onto by Pettigrew, who got bent like a pretzel at the 15 and able to hang on.
That's the second play Pettigrew has made off of the trap pass. Right down the seam. You see the guard pull. It's a double team, and they get Pettigrew right down the seam in a crowd.
And the Ravens are asking their sideline to look at challenging that. Pettigrew is down with an injury timeout, and the Ravens were asking their sideline to take a peek at that and perhaps challenge. Injury timeout.
What's up? Stuart Scott with you. Coming up, the GMC postgame report. Me and the fellas right here on the field. Full highlights and analysis. A day after the Cowboys blow that big lead to the Packers, Adam Schefter has the latest from Cowboy camp. And Joe Johnson, 10 3-pointers as the Nets beat up the 76ers. All that and more coming up. Mike?
See you momentarily. Meantime, here we have John Harbaugh just a few seconds ago dropping his red challenge flag.
On the field of a completed catch. We'll review the play.
Carl Sheffers will come over and look. There was an injury timeout to start this sequence. So now he will come over under the hood for Sheffers to look at this. We looked at it while we were away. This is going to be a very tough call because there was a football move and then contact, and right there is the question. Carl Sheffers getting a look at this play with the Pettigrew catch, and Carl coming out with a decision here.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Stands not confirmed. Going to bring in Jerry Austin. Jerry, what do you see on this one?
He has control of the ball. His hand never loses control of the ball, even though the ball touches the ground. Watch his hand.
Right.
Watch the hand. The hand is still gripping the football. That makes it a completion.
Now, it was not announced by Sheffers, but there was an injury timeout, but the challenge means the Ravens will lose a timeout, so they're down to 2. 3:13 left. Lions in the red zone, looking to take the lead. Rushing yards will be hard to come by as Nata slams Reggie Bush to the turf.
That's why the Ravens are the #1 ranked defense in football in the red zone. They stuff the run, and they give you a variety of different looks in the secondary. They're not afraid to bring all-out pressure. The next play, they'll play all-out zone. But they're hard to run against. They mix up their coverages, and they rehearse their red zone on the practice field as much as any team I've seen.
This drive started for the Lions back at their own 10. We're now at the Raven 14, looking for a go-ahead score. It is Stafford ripping end zone for Durham. Incomplete. Covered by Jimmy Smith. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Interesting decision by Stafford. It's a 2-deep zone. He's trying to find that dead zone once again between the corner and his safety. That time, Jimmy Smith sank right underneath it with help over the top.
.227 full complement timeouts. There is the possibility of kicking a field goal, but you would think it's 4-down territory. Can't guarantee you're going to stop the Ravens and get the ball back. 3rd and 9. There's time. It's an end zone shot, and it is caught for the touchdown by Fourier.
There's the dancer. 7 touchdowns for the undrafted rookie out of UCLA. Sometimes size just wins. 30 long yardage, and Stafford throws it up to Joseph Fourier, who went up and got it.
They will go for 2 to try to make it a 3-point game and give Tucker the only chance to tie the game with a field goal. Lions have gone 1 for 3, going for 2 this year. The Ravens, a little bit of confusion personnel-wise. They're going to have to take a timeout, and the Ravens burn a second timeout here because they weren't ready with the personnel on the two-point conversion. So they burn one on the challenge, burn one here. They're going to have the 2-minute warning and one timeout to try to come back. To the touchdown, caught by Fourier in a big spot.
Well, you tell your quarterback in key situations, know your personnel. And obviously, Stafford knows that Fourier is capable of going down the field and making a play with that huge 6'6" frame. And what a heck of a catch. Darryl Smith's in perfect coverage position. How about that for your undrafted rookie? 7 touchdown receptions. None bigger than this one.
His uncle Christian Fourier played 13 years in the NFL. Guy who had that knack for scores with his 20 touchdowns in 3 years at UCLA. Now back for the two-point conversion.
Watch a quarterback draw. This is a check with me. He can throw it up top, down here to Reggie, or run it himself.
And Calvin at the top with all the bodies to the right. To Johnson, 4-2. He didn't hang on again. Third time tonight, Johnson couldn't hang on to one that was in his hands. And it's a one-point game with 2:21 to go.
That could come back and haunt the Detroit Lions. They had exactly what they wanted. Their superstar Megatron against Jimmy Smith. The ball's thrown perfectly, and for the third time tonight, Calvin fails to make a play he routinely makes.
It would have been tough for him to come down inbounds, but he never gave it a chance there on that.
And this is where the Ravens seem to be most comfortable. They like to do it the hard way, Mike. As evidence of last week. How about the game in Minnesota? I still can't believe they won that. But the Baltimore Ravens, I just think back to the playoffs last year, the game against the Denver Broncos, the long check down Ray Rice on 4th and 30 against San Diego, last week against the Vikings. There's something about this Raven team. They just will not quit.
You're thinking there's one drive left. Can the Ravens kick a field goal? But there was more time than this last week, and there were 5 scores in the last 2:05 of the game as the lead went back and forth with Minnesota.
Must be very careful with Jacoby Jones. He's ripped games open in the last couple of weeks.
Akers had a bunch of touchbacks tonight, but this one's returnable. Jacoby Jones hit it hard. Can he get to the outside of 25? Jones circles it out of bounds at the 33-yard line. 2:14 left. Flacco does come out with that left knee, which was taped. Here was the hit from earlier. DeAndre Levy coming into his knee. Go back over just the observations of knee injuries. He gets stretched from the outside lateral aspect of the knee, which is called valgus stretch in the medical community. That stretches the inside of the MCL and makes the knee buckle inward. They did all the testing on that. Flacco gonna go, and here we go from the 33. Pressure. Flacco fires, incomplete. It was intended for Torrey Smith. And John, Flacco is so good at mobility to keep plays alive. I wonder how that knee's gonna impact it with this Lions pass rush.
Well, they're never going to know until we find out, but you got to really compliment Flacco's toughness. But A.Q. Shipley has his hands full right here with Nick Fairley because he just bull rushed him right into Flacco's lap.
False start.
False start. Number 60, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
I don't get it. That's 25 false starts. They lead the NFL, and I don't understand the communication, how the ball is snapped. Yonda's letting Gradkowski know when it's ready to snap, but 25 for false start penalties.
It will only get louder for 2nd and 15. Pressure up the middle, he floats it, incomplete. 3rd and 15 coming up.
Ziggy Ansah, the rookie out of BYU on a tackle and stunt, came free. The Ravens can't handle it. The tackle comes first, and Ziggy Ansah is right in Joe Flacco's face immediately, and there's nothing Flacco can do.
That was that world record set in Seattle a couple of Mondays ago. 3rd and 15. Flacco rips it. It's caught over the middle. There goes Jacoby Jones to the 45. At the 2-minute warning, the Ravens on the edge of field goal range with a kicker who does not miss, who's made 5 in a row. Tonight, 32 in a row on the season. And he's going to have a hope because Flacco ripped it and Jones caught it. He has been the rock of this team tonight, Justin Tucker. Career long 56. Last year, his rookie year, but we saw earlier, as he made a 49-yard. He's got plenty more room than that. That red line would be the 37, getting closer to field goal range. Jones trying to get closer to that is pulled down by Rasheem Mathis. 1:48 to go.
Mathis has played well. Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, has a long history in this league. And he has been a crunch time blitzer his entire career. I would be shocked if Detroit doesn't come after Flacco in this situation.
Second and 10. Flacco looking sideline. Pitta can't get it. 3rd down coming up with 1:20 to go. From here, your field goal attempt would be 63 yards, one shy of the record set a couple of weeks ago.
Tight man-to-man coverage with Delmas deep in the middle of the field. That time Glover Quinn does an excellent job inside against Dennis Pitta. Gotta hurry.
Play clock at 3 and 2 and 1. They get it off in time to run it inside and only get to the 43. So from here, a field goal attempt would be 60 yards. Will Harbaugh go for that or go for it on 4th down?
And can Detroit take a timeout?
To preserve time.
To preserve time in case they need it.
It's interesting. Ravens going to keep it out here, not go with the Tucker 60-yard attempt. They need to get 8 yards. Harbaugh has walked down towards the official to think about taking a timeout here. He's going to take one. Very, very interesting clock situation both ways. So 4th and 7, 43 seconds left. You've seen your kicker make from 53, and when he made it from 53, it hit up in the middle of the net.
I think he's thinking about whether or not he wants to go for it.
That's what I'm questioning.
He knows Tucker's capable of making it from right here.
Yeah.
The question is, do you kick a 60-yard field goal, or do you give Flacco one more play to get a 1st down on 4th down, clock it,
right,
or take your timeout and then kick it?
I think he's going to go with Tucker. You know, he hit a 53-yarder in the pregame, but obviously it's different. There's no rush. But we saw the live 53 that he hit up by the middle. So you rarely have game-winning field goal attempts or go-ahead field goal attempts in the last minute this long. Of course, the Lions were the team when Tom Dempsey made the game-winning 63-yarder in 1970. The Lions were the team that lost. This is 61 yards, the longest kick Tucker's ever attempted in the NFL. On the way, drifting right, and it is good! It is good! From 61! Unbelievable!
How good is that?
Wow!
3 timeouts left, 38 seconds.
Oh!
What's that word I used earlier? Majestic. You can't hit the ball any better than Tucker hit that one.
Just stayed on course and drifting in. I mentioned earlier that he just put one out on the tee and hit from 70 yards in pregame. And Justin Tucker You know, you talk about kickers and taking them. He goes in the second round and pressure kicks. When a guy's made 32 in a row, that's ridiculous. But when his 33rd in a row is from 61 with all this on the line, that is all you can say.
I saw him kick 5 against Pittsburgh. What a weapon. Justin Tucker.
At 38 seconds, 3 timeouts, game not over. David Akers, who made a 63-yarder at sea level for the 49ers against Green Bay back last year, is the Lions kicker. You think Tucker's any kind of juiced right now? He just bombed that one 5 yards deep. So the Lions, who thought that they had a chance to win this game and get the lead back in the division, now Matthew Stafford's got to think, okay, if Akers can hit one from 55 yards or so.
He's got plenty of time.
Yep.
You've got 3 timeouts. You have a quarterback with a cannon. You've got one of the great receivers of all time. You got to pass protect and let Stafford have an opportunity to unload it.
Probably need somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 45 yards. Stafford drifted. He fires to it's intercepted and held onto by Elam, who should just go down. And the Baltimore Ravens are going to come into Detroit and get a huge victory. Flag down after the play as Courtney Upshaw got involved with Rob Sims. But another Stafford interception. It'll be his 3rd on the night. Will likely write the final line of another unbelievable Ravens victory.
Well, Doomerville's coming off the edge. I think he's got plenty of time to get a completion somewhere. Burleson going right down the seam.
After the interception, unnecessary roughness, number 91 of the intercepting team for contacting his opponent in the face. 15 yards will be subtracted from the end of the return. First down, Baltimore.
It's a bad throw by Stafford, and you know, in that situation, you got to find some kind of completion anywhere to get the drive started. That ball had no chance to be caught by Burleson or any Detroit Lion, and guess who intercepted the pass?
Elam.
Elam. The young man has said Galvin was old or whatever his comments were early, but he'll sleep better tonight.
So the Lions played a game where they are again beset by their usual problems, penalties and turnovers. And the Ravens played a game that was really the storyline of their last couple of years. Under pressure, backs to the wall. They answer the bell. Stafford and the Lions do not make the mistakes. The 3 timeouts, the Ravens going to have to continue to run the clock and the ball. The Lions can use those timeouts, but Ray Rice runs and does what he has done before, just goes down, doesn't take the score. And Detroit, for whatever reason, not using these 3 timeouts.
This is a crushing blow to the Lions. If there ever was a time for Detroit to win the North, this was the year.
Yep.
Rodgers hurt. Cutler has been injured. Off to a great start, but what a win for the Baltimore Ravens to come here and rely on a kicker to ice the Detroit Lions.
No touchdowns, 6 field goals. Tucker, the most field goals in one game by a Raven, the longest field goal in Ravens history. And because they have a head-to-head win over Miami in Week 5, the Ravens slide back into the number 6 spot in the AFC playoff picture. And more importantly on their end, they are a game behind Cincinnati. Those 2 teams play Week 17, and because the Ravens already have beaten the Bengals, the Ravens control their own destiny to win the AFC North, so they can slide in that way. And on the other side, the Lions could very well play a meaningless Week 17 game because they have lost control of their fate with the Packers and the Bears, the beneficiaries here. The Lions start Sunday leading the North and end Monday night in 3rd. Lisa Salters with the man who hit 6 field goals, including the 61-yard game winner. Lisa?
Thank you, Mike. Justin, what were you thinking when you lined up to hit it?
I was just thinking, just hit it at that right third. If it comes back, it'll come back. Otherwise, it'll stay straight, and it did exactly that. Didn't get all of it, but got enough of it. And just glad to get out here with the victory at a time when our team really needed one.
I was standing right underneath the crossbar, and it seemed like it was in the air forever. As it was in the air, what were you thinking?
I was just hoping it had enough leg to get there. Morgan served up a good snap. Sam gave me a good hold, and the rest of it is pretty easy from there. I mean, it's just, 1, 2, 3 for us. We practice so much. We practice from all over the field during practice and in pregame. To have an opportunity like that at the end of the game and to come through for my team. Like I said, at a time when we need it, this is big time for us.
I think it could be any crazier than last week's finish, but you said this was insane. What was so insane about it for you?
Just the fact that, I mean, we kicked 6 field goals and we win the game. We don't, and it's, I'm happy to do it, don't get me wrong. And my fantasy team is benefiting from it as well. So I'm happy about that, and fantasy owners around the world, I hope you guys appreciate the points as well. But just to sum it up in just one word, pandemonium. Hey.
Congratulations on both levels, for the win and for your fantasy team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The apocalypse has arrived, and that picture says it all on the Lions side. First time a kicker in NFL history has made 15 or more field goals without a miss in 4 straight games, and all of them were wins. All happening in the season. The Detroit Lions back in November of 1970 lost a game on a 63-yard field goal by Tom Dempsey. Tonight they lose one on a 61-yard field goal by Justin Tucker. Incredible stuff tonight. Ravens 18, Lions 16. GMC postgame coming up next. So long from Detroit.